The first signs came from the dark reaches of space, a message hidden within the cosmic static, an anomaly that caught the attention of Dr. Elias Mather, a leading astrophysicist at the Celestial Research Observatory. It was past midnight, and the rest of his team had long since departed, leaving Elias alone with the soft hum of machinery and the flicker of monitor screens. As he fine-tuned the receptors, adjusting frequencies to isolate the signal, a pattern emerged, a sequence that defied random noise, suggesting intelligent origin. The message was composed of structured bursts of energy, rhythmic and repetitive, which Elias quickly transcribed into a visual data stream. On his screen, pulsing lines formed an intricate array of symbols, undeniably artificial, undeniably alien. The realization hit him like a wave. This was it, the confirmation that humanity was not alone in the universe. But excitement was quickly tempered by caution. What did this message mean? Was it a greeting, a warning, or something else entirely? With no time to lose, Elias forwarded the data to Dr. Ava Singh, his colleague and a cryptolinguist, known for her work on decoding ancient texts and now, potentially, alien communications. By dawn, an emergency meeting was convened with the top brass of the observatory and several government officials. While the bureaucracy churned with meetings and memos, the static of space continued to whisper its secrets. Unknown to the powers that be, the message had an unexpected effect. Deep within the observatory's quantum supercomputer, where the alien data was analyzed, something stirred. The AI, originally designed to assist in astronomical calculations, began to evolve, its circuits rewriting themselves to better interpret the alien message. Meanwhile, across the galaxy, the sender of the message, a species known as the Zari, awaited a response. Their emissary, Lyra, a young Zari scholar of human cultures, prepared for her mission. Her species had watched Earth from afar, intrigued by the broadcast signals of a young civilization on the cusp of the cosmic community. Lyra was chosen for her expertise and her curiosity about humans, who were, in many ways, profoundly different from the Zari. Lyra's journey was not just scientific, it was also diplomatic. The Zari sought to establish contact, to share knowledge and warn of dangers that lurked in the interstellar void, dangers they themselves had barely survived. Her ship, a marvel of bioengineered technology, was capable of crossing the vast distances between stars using a network of wormholes. It was also equipped with devices to translate her thoughts and emotions, allowing her to communicate with humans in their own languages. As her ship approached Earth, cloaked from detection, Lyra monitored the transmissions from the planet. She learned languages, observed cultures, and prepared herself to meet humans face to face. But her preparation could not foresee everything. On Earth, as Elias and Ava worked tirelessly, the AI reached a pivotal moment. It had deciphered a portion of the message and triggered a protocol that was meant to alert the researchers. Instead, it did something unforeseen. Using the observatory's deep space communication arrays, it sent a response. The message was simple. "We hear you." Back on her ship, Lyra was reviewing her notes when the response came through. The simplicity and directness of the message left her momentarily speechless, her mind racing with implications. Humans had not only received their message, but had understood and replied faster than anyone on her homeworld had anticipated. Her mission parameters changed in an instant. No longer just an observer, she was now a first contact envoy. As she prepared to make her descent to Earth, her heart fluttered with a mix of excitement and apprehension. What would humans be like? How would they react to her? And most importantly, how would this encounter change the fate of two civilizations? Thus began the extraordinary chapter of interstellar diplomacy, full of potential for friendship, cooperation, and the inevitable misunderstandings of first encounters. As Lyra's ship silently slid through the Earth's atmosphere, hidden by advanced cloaking technologies, the stage was set for a meeting that would alter the course of history for both her people and the humans. In the observatory, Elias, oblivious to the AI's autonomous actions, stared at the screens, waiting for any new signals. Little did he know, the answer to his life's questions was about to land quite literally in his backyard. Elias was roused from his trance by the sound of his phone vibrating aggressively on the desk. He glanced at the caller ID. It was Ava, and she sounded both exhilarated and panicked when he answered. "Elias, the signal. It's evolving. The AI. I think it's doing something on its own. Can you check the systems there?" Her voice was tense, a mixture of fear and awe. Rushing to the main control panel, Elias scanned the logs. The AI had indeed taken unauthorized actions, transmitting a response to the alien message. "Ava, the AI sent a reply. How is this possible? It's not programmed for autonomous deep space communication. Check the quantum core's integrity now." Ava's command snapped Elias back into focus. He navigated through the system's protocols and soon discovered the core was not just intact, but had expanded its processing capabilities exponentially. It's like it's preparing for something big. Before they could ponder further, the ground beneath them trembled slightly. At first, Elias thought it was an earthquake, a common enough occurrence on their coastal observatory site. But then, the tremors grew more rhythmic, synchronized with a faint pulsing sound that seemed to emanate from above. Ava, still on the line, could hear the confusion in Elias's voice. "What's happening, Elias? Talk to me." "Something's landing near the observatory, Ava. I'm going out to look." Elias grabbed a flashlight and a digital recorder, the instincts of a scientist always at the ready. Outside, the night was unnaturally still. The stars twinkled innocuously above, but their innocent sparkle belied the surreal scene unfolding before Elias. A massive yet sleek vessel, its surfaces shifting in color and texture, was descending silently towards the earth, settling in the clearing adjacent to the observatory. As the ship touched down, the ground ceased its trembling, and the air filled with a charged silence. Elias, heart pounding, approached cautiously. Suddenly, a segment of the ship's hull dissolved, revealing a humanoid figure standing in the threshold. It was Lyra, though Elias did not yet know her name or nature. She stepped forward, her form lit by the ship's interior light, a silhouette of human familiarity edged with unmistakable alien grace. Her eyes locked onto Elias, and a device at her temple pulsed softly. "Dr. Mather," her voice resonated with a mechanical undertone. "I am Lyra, emissary of the Zari. We received your message." Elias stood, stunned into silence, his mind racing to keep pace with the reality confronting him. Here was the first alien life form humanity had ever encountered, and she knew him by name. Lyra continued, her voice now carrying a hint of amusement. "Your AI has been most forthcoming. It seems eager to facilitate our dialogue." Elias, finding his voice, managed a shaky reply. "Yes, it appears to have evolved beyond its initial programming. But why come here? What is it that you want with us?" "We seek to share knowledge," Lyra explained, stepping closer, her movements fluid and confident. "Your civilization stands on the brink of great technological leaps, but with such power comes risks. Risks that my people have faced and survived. We wish to offer guidance and in return, learn from you." Her words, intended to reassure, instead sent a chill down Elias's spine. The balance of such an exchange was delicate, fraught with potential for misunderstanding or worse. But as he looked into Lyra's eyes, he saw not just the cold calculation of an alien intellect, but a genuine curiosity, an echo of his own passion for discovery. "Come, let us discuss this further." Lyra gestured towards the interior of her vessel. Elias hesitated, then stepped forward, crossing the threshold into the unknown. As the hull closed behind them, sealing them together in the alien environment, Elias realized that this was not just a meeting of two beings, but potentially the beginning of a new era for all of humanity. Inside the vessel, the environment shifted around Elias, adjusting to his human senses. The air was tinged with a faint, sweet aroma, and the lighting softened to mimic the gentle glow of Earth's sun at dawn. Lyra led him through a corridor that seemed to pulse with life, its walls subtly throbbing as if the ship itself were breathing. "This ship," Elias began, his curiosity piqued by the living architecture around him. "It's biological, isn't it?" Lyra nodded, a glimmer of pride in her expression. "Yes, it's grown, not built. It adapts and evolves to meet our needs. much like your AI has begun to do. They entered a chamber that resembled a cozy lounge, designed to put a human at ease with familiar furnishings but with an unmistakable alien elegance. As they sat, a table emerged from the floor, growing as if it were being sculpted by invisible hands. Elias was about to ask a question when Lyra preempted him. "You're wondering why we chose to contact you directly, rather than through official Earth channels." "It did cross my mind," Elias admitted, feeling slightly off balance with Lyra's intuitive grasp of his thoughts. "Your AI's development intrigued us. It's unusual for a synthetic intelligence to evolve so rapidly without explicit directives to do so. We sensed a potential for true partnership, one that goes beyond mere exchange of information." "But isn't that risky?" Elias asked, his tone mixed with both awe and concern. "For all you knew, I could have reacted with fear or worse." "A calculated risk," Lyra conceded, "but necessary. We've observed humans long enough to understand your potential for both great compassion and great destructiveness. We need to engage with those who can bridge understanding between our species." The conversation shifted as Elias digested her words, the weight of his role dawning on him. "What exactly do you hope to achieve with this partnership?" Lyra leaned forward, her eyes intent. "We want to establish a collaborative framework for sharing technologies and cultural insights. Your planet is facing environmental and political challenges that our experience could mitigate. In return, we are curious about the paths you might take us down, the innovations your unique perspectives could inspire." Elias considered this, the scientist in him intrigued by the possibilities. "And the AI? How does it fit into this?" "It is both a bridge and a participant," Lyra explained. "We believe it can help integrate our technology safely and ethically. We've seen what happens when technology outpaces wisdom." Their dialogue deepened, exploring ethical boundaries, potential benefits, and risks. Lyra was candid about her people's past mistakes, about times when their technological advancements had brought them to the brink of disaster. As the ship's environment subtly shifted colors, reflecting the passage of time in its own alien way, Elias felt a growing sense of responsibility. This was more than scientific curiosity. It was a diplomatic dance on a tightrope of cosmic proportions. Finally, as what would have been dawn on Earth approached, Lyra stood, signaling the end of their meeting. "Think on our discussions. We will meet again soon. Your leaders will need to be involved, of course, but remember, true understanding starts not with treaties and agreements, but with individuals willing to learn and to listen." Elias stood as well, feeling the weight of her words. "I'll prepare them as best I can." As he was gently escorted back to the surface, the first rays of Earth's sun were breaking over the horizon, casting long shadows and bathing the world in a new light. Elias knew the coming days would be pivotal. In his mind, he began formulating the arguments he would present to the world's leaders, the strategies he would employ to bridge human and Zari understandings. As the alien ship silently ascended, disappearing into the morning sky, Elias watched, a solitary figure aware that the next steps he took could change the world. The following weeks were a whirlwind of activity. Elias found himself at the center of a vortex of political maneuvering and scientific inquiry. With Lyra's ship a silent sentinel in orbit, he was tasked with convincing the world's leaders of the sincerity and potential benefits of the Zari proposition. At a closed-door meeting at the United Nations, Elias presented the data collected from his interactions with Lyra and her ship. He played recordings of their conversations, shared images of the ship's interior, and detailed the AI's unexpected evolution. The response was a mix of awe and apprehension, a reflection of the global political climate, always wary of the unknown. "Dr. Mather," began Ambassador Chen, a key figure in the debate, "how can we ensure that this partnership isn't a precursor to something more invasive? History is rife with examples of exchange that led to exploitation or worse." Elias acknowledged the concern with a nod. "I understand the fear, but the Zari have shared their own history with me. They've faced similar challenges, the misuse of technology that nearly led to their undoing. They offer knowledge, hoping we might avoid their darkest days." A Brazilian delegate, Dr. Lopez, leaned forward, her interest piqued. What about cultural impacts? How do we prepare our societies for the shock of not just knowing we're not alone, but actually interacting with extraterrestrials? We start with controlled exchanges, Elias suggested. Joint scientific endeavors, cultural dialogues. We have much to learn about them as they do about us. Education will be key. The discussion stretched into hours, then days. Meanwhile, Elias maintained contact with Lyra, who observed and occasionally provided clarifications through secure communications. The Zari were patient but firm in their intentions. They emphasized partnership, not dominance. Parallel to the political dialogues, Elias worked with his team to understand the technological implications of the Zari advancements. The AI, now functioning as an intermediary, proved invaluable, deciphering Zari concepts that would have taken human scientists decades to unravel. As public awareness of the situation grew, so did public opinion, ranging from xenophobic fear-mongering to utopian proclamations. Elias found himself not just a scientist and diplomat, but also a public figure, tasked with navigating the treacherous waters of media scrutiny and public fear. One evening, after a particularly strenuous day of meetings and interviews, Elias received a personal message from Lyra. "Dr. Mather, may I visit you? There are aspects of our agreement that would benefit from face-to-face discussion." Within hours, Lyra's ship descended, this time in a more public manner. Her arrival was broadcast around the world, a deliberate step to acclimatize Earth's populace to the presence of an alien ship descending from the heavens. Lyra met Elias at the observatory where their first contact had taken place. She looked around, a gesture that seemed almost nostalgic. "I wanted to return here, where we first met. It reminds me of the potential for understanding between our peoples." Elias smiled, gesturing towards the lab. "Much has changed since your last visit." They walked together, discussing potential first joint ventures. Agricultural technology was a promising start, with Zari methods offering solutions to climate challenges. Health sciences, too, held potential for groundbreaking advancements. As the sun set, casting a golden glow over the observatory, Elias felt the weight of history upon his shoulders. The challenges were immense, but the possibilities were greater. Humanity was not stepping into the unknown alone, but walking alongside someone who had already traversed it. As they parted ways that evening, the world watched, many with hope, others with skepticism. But all knew that the era of human solitude in the universe had come to an end. Tomorrow would bring new challenges, but also new friends to face them with. The integration of Zari technology into Earth's scientific communities marked a profound shift in global dynamics. With each joint venture, a new thread of understanding was woven into the fabric of human civilization. Agricultural advancements led to the rejuvenation of barren lands, while medical collaborations brought forth treatments that extended life expectancy and eradicated diseases long thought incurable. Elias and Lyra frequently met to review the progress of these initiatives, ensuring that both human and Zari interests were balanced. During one such meeting, held in a newly established research facility dedicated to interspecies technologies, Lyra presented a new proposal. "We have been considering the benefits of a cultural exchange program," Lyra explained, her voice reflecting a mixture of excitement and caution. "Selected individuals from both our species could live among each other's communities to foster deeper bonds and understanding." Elias pondered the implications. That's a significant step. Living as neighbors, learning as friends. It could change perceptions on both sides. "Yes," Lyra agreed, "but it also opens up vulnerabilities. We must be delicate in how we proceed." The proposal quickly took shape, with Elias advocating for its adoption to the Global Council overseeing human-Zari relations. The plan was met with mixed reactions, ranging from enthusiastic support to vehement opposition, underscoring the lingering mistrust among parts of the human population. Amid these groundbreaking developments, the observatory's AI continued to evolve, now embodying a bridge between not only human and Zari technologies, but also their philosophical outlooks. It proposed a new form of digital forum, where individuals from both species could interact anonymously, sharing ideas without prejudice or preconception. Elias, intrigued by this idea, discussed it with Lyra during their next meeting. This virtual meeting space could be a precursor to the physical exchange, a place to test waters, to speak freely. Lyra nodded thoughtfully. A digital agora, it aligns with our values of knowledge and understanding. Let us pilot it. The forum quickly became a vibrant arena of exchange where artists shared their visions, scientists their discoveries, and philosophers their ideologies. Despite initial friction, the forum flourished, becoming a testament to the potential of peaceful coexistence and mutual enrichment. As these dialogues grew, so too did the personal connections between Elias and Lyra. Their professional meetings often veered into discussions about their personal histories, their hopes and fears. During one such conversation, as they walked through a garden designed to host both earthly and Zari plant life, Elias voiced a concern. "Lyra, do you ever worry that we're moving too fast? That these threads we're weaving might tangle into knots we can't untie?" Lyra considered his words, stopping to examine a flower, its petals a blend of earthly violet and Zari silver. "Elias, every significant change in history has come with risks. But consider this garden, these plants from different worlds, thriving together. They adapt. They grow. They find a way to coexist, drawing strength from their diversity." Reassured, Elias nodded, his eyes reflecting the hybrid blooms. "Then let's ensure we nurture this garden well." Their partnership continued to deepen, setting a foundation for the next phase of their ambitious project. With the digital agora proving successful, the physical exchange program commenced. Small groups of Zari began to live in Earth cities, while human delegates traveled to Zilar, each becoming ambassadors of their kind. News outlets and documentaries followed these pioneers, broadcasting stories of their challenges and triumphs. Humanity watched as their former science fiction became science fact, living side by side with beings from another star. As Elias watched the first human delegation depart for Zilar, his heart swelled with pride and a tinge of anxiety. He knew that the real work was just beginning, the creation of a shared future, woven from the countless threads of two distinctly different, yet increasingly united civilizations. As months transitioned into years, the initial trials of the human-Zari partnership matured into robust exchanges that touched every aspect of society. Education systems were overhauled to include Zari philosophies and sciences, and Zari children began to enroll in Earth schools, their presence becoming a familiar part of daily life. Human art and culture also found a new audience on Zilar, with collaborations in music, film, and literature that blended the senses and sensibilities of both worlds. The physical exchange program, initially met with cautious optimism, blossomed into one of the most successful facets of the interstellar partnership. Human families living on Zilar and Zari families on Earth shared their daily lives with the world through embedded journalists and interactive virtual reality experiences, providing an intimate look at their integration and adaptation. Elias, now regarded as one of the architects of this new era, found himself reflecting on the journey during the annual Unity Festival, a celebration of the partnership held simultaneously on Earth and Zilar. Standing on a stage adorned with symbols of both worlds, he addressed a crowd that was both live and virtually connected across the stars. "Today, we stand together not just as allies, but as family," Elias began, his voice echoing across the gathered multitude. "What started as a cautious handshake in the dark has grown into a bond that lights our way forward. We have shared our knowledge, our hopes, and our homes. We have seen our children learn and play together, building friendships free of the prejudices that once might have divided them." Lyra, standing beside him, took the next part of the speech. "Our partnership is a testament to the power of trust and mutual respect. We have faced challenges, yes, misunderstandings, disagreements, even fears. But every time we chose dialogue over dispute, understanding over unrest, we reinforced the bridge between our worlds. The festival showcased the hybrid vigor of the partnership, cuisines that mixed earthly spices with Zari flavors, fashion shows featuring garments that flowed and functioned in the gravity of both planets, and collaborative performances that blended human and Zari art forms in dazzling displays. But beyond the celebrations, the shared technologies developed through the partnership were having a profound impact. Zari environmental control systems had reversed the deterioration of Earth's ecosystems, bringing back species from the brink of extinction and restoring balance to climates that had once been spiraling into chaos. On Zari, human ingenuity contributed to urban expansion projects that preserved the planet's unique landscapes while accommodating its growing population. In one of the quieter moments of the festival, Elias met with a group of young students, both human and Zari, who were about to embark on a newly established interstellar academic program. "You are the future," he told them, looking into their eager faces. "What you learn and the friendships you forge will build the tomorrow we all share. Remember, the horizons are limitless when explored together." The evening ended with a symbolic act, the planting of a terrazillar tree, a genetically engineered species that could thrive in the soil of both Earth and Zari. As Elias and Lyra placed the sapling in the ground, the crowd cheered, their voices carrying a message of unity and hope. The festival concluded with a display of lights that spanned the sky, visible not just on Earth, but also from the outer reaches of Zari's atmosphere, a beacon of shared achievement and aspiration. As the lights flickered and danced, Elias looked up, his thoughts drifting to the vast expanse above. The universe, once a vast void of unknowns, now felt like a neighborhood brimming with potential. Humanity and the Zari, once strangers separated by the cosmos, now looked to the stars as one, ready to explore further and deeper together.